Hi everyone, my name is Roseanne and I'm a student on the Piano in 21 Days course. I'm making this video so that you get an idea of what it's like to be a student on the course and what the course is like. And hopefully, if you're sitting on the fence about it, it might help you make a good decision. So, bit of background. Piano. Well, you see, I had piano lessons when I was about 7 years old, and my teacher would play the piece before I got to learn it myself. And I learnt to listen to the piece and play by ear. And then as I progressed, I never even got to grade one. As I progressed, it became apparent that I didn't really know the basics of the theory. I was listening to her and copying her. So we left the piano and I had singing lessons instead. Fast forward to 2014, I think it was. I was abroad at the time, and I had this desire in my heart to learn to play the piano. I'd played the guitar, but never to a very, useful standard. And I didn't actually like it that much. And I had this desire to be able to play the piano and sing like Elton John or Miley Cyrus, and I found a piano teacher, and I couldn't afford to have more than one lesson a month with her. But I started to have classical piano lessons. And of course, when you do classical piano lessons, it's pitched right at the beginning, usually for small children. So I did all the sort of Mary Had a Little Lamb kind of tunes, and started doing some scales and things like that. And but what I found about classical playing for me was that I really struggled to sight read. I even had an app on my phone to learn to sight read notes, identify what a note is on the stave, and I just found it. I don't know. I could hardly tell the difference between whether a note was in the middle of the stave or one line or two lines up. And I used to feel quite sort of tied up when I was trying to play songs with my piano teacher. And I go and I do my homework. But what I really wanted to do, what I really enjoyed doing, was finding a song that I knew and looking up the chords and trying to play it that way, just like I had with the guitar. I had a book of blues chords, and so I'd find a song, I'd find the chords on it. Usually they'd be sort of on a PDF on the internet or something, and then I would, with my little book of blues chords, I would try to work out the fingering, because it would show like a picture of the keys you need to press, and I'd work out the chords, a bit like when I used to play the guitar. So and I enjoyed that so much more. And I also like to write my own songs. I'm an amateur songwriter. And so what I would do is I would also, the chords that I learned, I would then try and make a song with them. I learnt, for example, I can do this with my fingers, go up and down. So I learnt to do arpeggios before I even knew they were called arpeggios. And so, yes, and it became quite apparent to my piano teacher that probably what I liked doing more was playing songs songs that I wanted to sing to. And so much so that when I eventually did a recital, she had a recital with all her students. I played the classical piece that I learnt with her, but I also played two of my own songs. And I think she was slightly mystified at the level of my playing, in terms of the fact that I wasn't reading music for those songs, I wasn't looking at the theory, I just learnt by chords. Now, the problem with being self-taught is that you tend to stay in a rut. You tend to stay with your well, for me, I was playing all my songs with the same timing, same beat, and my style of fingering was always the same. So, and I stayed in that rut for quite some time because I didn't know what else I could do. I didn't continue with the classical piano lessons when I moved back to England, but I still wanted to have lessons. I wanted to get good. I wanted to get good enough that that I could create songs, people could listen to them, and they weren't just listening to the melody of my voice, but how I was playing would sound good. So I discovered piano in 21 days, and when I listened to what Jack Hopkins said about it, what it involved, I thought, this is the course for me. This is exactly the kind of playing I want to do. I don't want to spend years and years training how to be a classical player. The thing is with classical playing is there's a lot of theory that you have to learn at the beginning. And it takes a while for you to be able to actually play songs because you're dependent on reading notes, you're dependent on reading everything that's on the sheet music. And of course, musical people will get beyond that at a certain point, but a lot of times people are very much dependent on reading sheet music. And it sounds beautiful, but if you want to play a song that you sing along to, if you want to play popular songs, if you want to be part of a band, and you're part of the accompaniment of a band, and they often if there's a guitarist there, they often go by chords. There's a lot of improvisation, there's a lot of kind of spontaneity. Then actually the way Jacques teaches the piano, I think, is far more flexible and far more freeing. Okay, so it depends what you want to do, because my thing is the piano is a very versatile instrument. Okay, you have, for example, with the guitar, you have classical guitarists, and you have probably the majority of guitarists who play chords, and with the piano, you've got classical pianists, but you've also got people who play the piano with chords, and that's not to make it sound boring, because there's so much you can do when you know the chords. There is so many different kinds of fingering styles, there's so many beautiful things you can do. So and there is a melody and ear training course that if you get the full complete package of the piano in 21 days, that with everything, there is another 21 days which is the melody and ear training. So there is a lot in there, and I would recommend this course to anybody who's a complete beginner, because the lessons are simple and straightforward. So piano in 21 days, you can learn it in 21 days. But some people would prefer to take longer, and I signed up a few months ago. During lockdown, I was there every day, and then various personal circumstances made it a little bit harder. But I still love it, and I still go to the piano, and I'm determined to keep going, because it's fun. It's lovely to be able to play along to a song and play a song, because you increase your skills every time. When I was doing it by myself, I wasn't really progressing or learning anything. Now I have a course, a structured course, step by step by step, very simple steps. Each day's lessons, they're very simple steps. There might be 3 or 4 steps, simple steps. Practice them, master them, then move on to the next one. For some people, 21 days easily. For some people, maybe depending on whether you've got other things going on in life, a bit longer. But the amount of practice you put in will determine what you get out of the course, but how you will progress as well, and the rate at which you progress. So it's a very simple way to learn. And now the other thing is chords. Okay, so most popular songs only need about 4 chords, and when you learn those kind of chords, you can play many songs, okay, as Jacques advertises, but you don't just learn the 4, you learn all chords, okay, and there are formulas for knowing the fingering, so you don't have to go and look up online or go to a jazz book and see like which keys you've got to press. Once you know the formula for playing the chords, someone can say to you, can you play a D sharp minor? Straight away you know what to do. Okay, whereas before, if I hadn't sort of pre-learnt it and I hadn't drawn the picture of the keys and crossed the ones I was to press, I wouldn't know what to do if it was a chord I'd never come across. So you will also learn on the course to transpose up or down. Many songs are written with the chords have the capo, and you just know, okay, capo 2, you know exactly what to do. Okay, so that's great, because if you want to play as part of a band, and many bands with guitarists especially will use chords. The good thing about chords is there's a lot of improvisation and flexibility that goes with them. You're not stuck to just reading notes on a stave, okay? And the early jazz musicians, they were musically illiterate, but they created fantastic musical masterpieces. Because that was the way that jazz was, they work together, you know what the key is and you know the sort of chords you're using. You can do so many things with it, and there are so many different kinds of fingerings and stuff which Jacques will teach you. So he demystifies the piano on this course. If it ever seems daunting to you, it's really not. Once you know the codes, you know what to do. It is not daunting at all. And if you are a total beginner, this course is made for you. If you're not a beginner like me, you have a little bit of a background, what this course will do is provide structure for you. So, for example, I never used to learn by playing other people's songs, listening to them. I would play songs at my pace with my timing that I thought was how to play it. But on this course, you will be able to play along with other songs to the point where you can play it yourself. And you will be learning different timings. Some songs are faster than others, different types of songs, different genres of songs, and that will increase your own ability. I think that's really important when you're learning, is that you are able to play other songs and not just your timing, your way, and so you learn all that, and it's fun. Now I want to talk about the Facebook page. The Facebook page is brilliant, okay? There is a Facebook group that is exclusively for those who are on the course. You don't have to post anything on there, but many students actually post videos of themselves playing a song. And it's lovely because actually you get encouraged listening to other students, and you can ask questions like, oh, how did you do that ending? Or, you know what, I'm struggling with this a bit. Has anyone got any advice? And Jacques is often on there and he might answer. Emily Z, his assistant, also, she often responds. But you can often post questions and put it out there for the whole group. And it's always supportive and always encouraging. Jacques Hopkins is a very supportive teacher. If you have the ultimate package, then you can be emailing him and he will respond. And it's there are these online sort of question and answer live things that happen weekly, which are also great to plug into. So there's really a community that helps you move along with what you're doing. So basically, I can't sing the praises of this course enough. If you want to play the piano, but you don't want to become like, I don't know, the next Bach or Rachmaninoff, then this is the right course for you. The piano is a very versatile instrument. There's no right way to play. There were some music snobs will say, oh no, but I was taught this way, you could only do it this way, but that's not true. It's a versatile instrument for different genres, different approaches. Jacques' approach will enable you to play songs. You can get a song in front of you, work it out very quickly how to play. You can sing along with your friends. You could be part of a band where they're actually, because they usually use chords, and it allows great flexibility and for you to be creative as well. So don't be daunted by it. Step by step, very simple course. Absolutely brilliant for beginners, but also great for those that aren't. And definitely worth the money. It might seem like a lot, but actually when you consider all that he puts into it, in terms of the whole design of the course, the videos, everything, it is really good value for money. So I must encourage you to sign up, because this is it's a very good tool. You've got it for life. If you pay for the ultimate package especially, you've got the 21-day course and then the melody year training, another 21 days. You've got all the bonus stuff and you have it for life. Once you've got it, you can go back to it, you can review it, you can do it whatever pace you like. Definitely worth it. It's 10 out of 10 from me. Okay, bye everybody.